Okay guys, so today I'd like to talk to you about a type of inoculation technique called streaking for isolation. First thing you want to do when you grab a clean plate is label the type of agar that you're using. NA in this case represents nutrient agar, and I'm going to be inoculating this nutrient agar with E. coli bacteria. So in order to do this, I first need to sterilize my loop. I'm going to take the loop, put it in the incinerator for about 15 to 20 seconds. And then I want to take that out and hold it still and allow that to cool. You don't want to overheat your bacteria, otherwise you'll kill it before you get it on the plate. Next, you're going to take a sample, and this is from a liquid sample. I'm going to start in what I'm going to call zone 1 and go back and forth in that manner. Immediately return the agar to the lid to avoid contamination. Next, I'm going to re-sterilize the loop, 15 to 20 seconds again. Pull out, let it cool for about 15 seconds. Then you're going to go through zone 1, turning the plate 90 degrees, and create a zone 2. Notice I only went back through zone 1 one time. For the third section, you're going to re-sterilize the loop again. Then allow it to cool for about 15 seconds. I'm going to turn my plate 90 degrees. Now notice guys, I only took a sample of my bacteria one time. The rest of this experience is to make the sample as thin as possible. So again, I create a zone 3. I'm going to re-sterilize my loop for the last time, and I'm finished. I'm ready to place this in the incubator for about 48 hours. And when we come back, I'll tell you how it should look and what contamination looks like also. Okay, so let's jump forward 48 hours. When I come back and I look at my plate, it should look something like this. I have several zones here. The first zone that I did was zone number 1. Notice how it's the thickest zone. The growth pattern here is in a 4+ pattern, meaning that there is no individualized colonies found, right? Just solid growth of bacteria. Then I sterilized the loop again. I drug through zone 1. I went back and forth across there. Notice how it thins out a little bit further. And then finally on zone 3, you can see individual colonies. This is the point that you want to reach when you do a streak for isolation plate. These individual colonies are how you can tell, or how you can determine, that you are in fact working with a pure culture of bacteria. And let me explain that. When you get back to 48 hours later and you pick up your plate, you might notice some things like this. Notice I did really good in my zone 1. Then I thinned it out a little more in my zone 2. I do have individual colonies over here, but notice these colonies do not belong. They're a different color, a different size, and a completely different texture than the bacteria that I placed on the plate. So this, guys, is a prime example of cross-contamination. I might be able to exaggerate the streak for isolation technique a little better using a piece of paper. So what we initially did once we incinerated, sterilized the loop, was we created a zone 1. So that zone 1 looks similar to this. And then I turned the plate 90 degrees, and I'm just going to put a number 1 over here. I turn the plate 90 degrees, I drag through, after I incinerate the loop again, I drag through zone 1, but notice I do not return to zone 1. I stay out here completely in zone 2, and I'll label that one number 2. And then the third time was zone 3. I incinerated or sterilized the loop, and again notice I'm going to drag through zone 2 and then stay out here in a new zone, or the last zone, zone 3. It's in this zone, guys, where you should see at the end of zone 3 your individual colonies, and that is the streak for isolation technique.